This is the recording for the Ethics and Legal Considerations lecture for the Animal Chiropractic class at Parker University. This is an exciting topic because the animal chiropractic profession is relatively young. Changes are happening fairly quickly. And as is usually the case, our legal system is struggling to try to keep up with those changes. My name's Jesse Green. I've worked with Parker University since 1990. I'm an attorney. I'm not a chiropractor or a veterinarian. And I've practiced law in the Dallas area since 1986. So just to give you a quick overview of this topic, there's 5 areas that I think are important to understand. The first is just a general understanding of the ethics. Particularly for the chiropractors, they need to understand that the ethics in the context of working with animals is slightly different than the ethics when you're working with patients who are humans. Now, licensing issues is probably where I'm going to spend most of the time during this lecture, and probably the most concerning to most of you. We'll also talk briefly about informed consent and about malpractice claims and the risk of malpractice when you're working with animals. And then lastly, we'll talk about record keeping and some general advice on keeping good records. I've taken these topics and divided them into 14 videos to try to make it a little more manageable. The first video, of course, is this video, which is just a very brief overview. The second video is ethics. Particularly, I want to focus on the differences between working with animals and working with people. The third lecture deals with the licensing rules. The fourth lecture will talk about the supervision that's required by the licensing rules. And then we'll talk about advertising rules. The next video will have to do with informed consent, how to get good informed consent. We'll then talk about malpractice. We'll start by talking about damages for malpractice. We'll start with a general overview of malpractice and the elements required for a malpractice case. And then we'll talk about the damages and the risk of damages when you're working with animals. We'll also talk about the best way to respond to errors. If you respond to an error in a caring, professional way, even though you may have made a mistake, it is less likely that an owner will feel compelled to file a malpractice case if you respond appropriately. Third thing we'll talk about there is livestock shows and some special rules that are applicable to livestock shows that help reduce your liability even more. And then the last 2 videos will have to do with record keeping and just some good general advice on how to keep records, particularly paper records. Looking forward to working with you through this lecture. If at any time you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Best email is going to be jgreen@parker.edu, and I'll try to respond to those as quickly as I can. Thank you.